principles for your next level. Quickly. Number 1, be faithful in your little. Be faithful in your little. Luke 16 verse 10. Can I have it in Amplified translation? Luke 16 verse 10, Amplified translation. Be faithful in your little, because many times we want to see more how you act in that thing that doesn't look like, that doesn't look so significant. How you act is the road to your more. Luke 16 verse 10, Amplified translation. All right, it's okay to have Amplified Classic. He says, he who is faithful in a very little thing is faithful also in much. He who is faithful in a very little thing is faithful also in much. You know, you can be working in a place and you look at your salary and you're like, oh wow, this is so small. I remember years ago when I was single, I was working in a company in Nigeria way before I got married. And that was not my job. You know, you can be in a place right now, but that's not your dream. And so I was working in that place. The salary wasn't what I'd seen in my dream, where I was going to, what I needed to attain in my life, what I wanted to achieve. But I was there working. I'm going to share 2 stories. And I remembered when I was resigning from that work and I was going to get married to move to the city that my husband was. My boss called me, it was my send forth, attended my resignation, and they were doing send forth for me. And he said to me, he prayed for me and all of that. And then when he was rounding off the prayer, he said, what you have sown in my company, you reap. You know, when you hear this kind of prayer, like some of you just shouted, amen, amen. I shouted, amen. And I said, amen. Because that was a very weighty prayer. What you have sown in my company, you will reap wherever you go. I still shouted, I receive it, amen. The second I said, amen. And I went back to my house and I began to evaluate, Anwinli, what did you sow in this man's company? Because it's not enough to shout, I receive it. It is your posture of faithfulness that takes you to more. It's your posture of faithfulness that shifts you to a new level. So it got me thinking for hours. I said checking from the year I got in to did I clock in when it was when I came late and I clocked in early? Did I do this? Did I do that? I said thinking, oh wow, I did I lie? I was thinking of a lot. I said praying for mercy. Because you will realize the trajectory of life is quite funny. You will see some things happening in your life. You will trace it back. You realize that these were some seeds you sowed that you are reaping. Because you see, the day of harvest is never told, but seed time is spelled out. What you sow, you reap. He that is faithful in very little